Welcome back to the session 2, my dear students, from the lesson The Impact of British Rule in India. This is Chandrasekhar, social science teacher, BGS Public School, Shidlaghatta. Dear students, in the last session, we all gathered in detail information about British administration system in our Indian country. So that consists of administration, judicial system, police system, military system, then British land tax policies. So that British land tax policies, permanent jamindari system, mahalwari system and raitavari system. So these three types of land tax policies are implemented by Britishers. So mainly these three types of land tax policies played a very important role in India. Very important role in India, especially upon for the people. Then now we have to learn the impact of the British land tax system. ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಅವರು ಆ ಒಂದು ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮನ್ನು ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನಮ್ಮ ಭಾರತ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಾದಂಥ ಬದಲಾವಣೆಗಳು ಆದವು, ಅದರಿಂದ ಏನಾದರೂ ಯೂಸ್ ಆಯಿತಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ಇಂಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ಸ್, ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ಸ್, ಔಟ್ಕಮ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಇಂಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಇನ್ ಅವರ್ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ country. Dear students, the first impact or the first result, a new class of zamindars who exploited the farmers was created. So before implementation of the zamindari system, there is no exploitation upon for the farmers. It means there is no harassment on the farmers. When Britishers are implemented for the land tax policies, especially for the zamindari system, zamindars try to exploit to the most of the farmers in our Indian country. That is why a new class of zamindar was created. So who exploited the farmers was created. Got it? So this is one of the group. Before that, only Britishers are available and for the farmers are available. There is no zamindars. Here tax collecting purpose, Britishers are implemented one of the important land tax system, that is a zamindar. So that time one new class of zamindars created. Why this group created? Meant to collect of the tax and exploit the farmers. Second one, the farmers who were subjected to the exploitation of the zamindars became landless slowly. Here mainly zamindars given so much of torture to the farmers. Even the crops fail means also farmers have to compulsory pay for the tax. In case the farmers not paying for the tax means, got it? They slowly losing for their land. So the farmers who were subjected to the exploitation of zamindars became landless slowly. It means farmers' land controlled by zamindars. So like through the harassment and through the torture. This is the second important effect of the British land tax system. And third one, land became a commodity. It means land more valuable. Got it? ಭೂಮಿ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಒಂದು ಉಪಯುಕ್ತ ವಸ್ತು. Got it? Something very very useful. That so land became a commodity. It means actually the land useful for agriculture. We know everybody for that. Got it? So apart from that agriculture, commodity purpose, commercial purpose using for the lands. Loans could be raised by mortgaging the lands. What is the meaning of mortgaging? It means we have to keep our land to the money lenders to receive for most of the money to paying for the tax purpose. ಅಂದರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಜಮೀನನ್ನು ಮನಿ ಲೆಂಡರ್ಸ್ ಅಂದರೆ ನಮಗೆ ದುಡ್ಡು ಯಾರು ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೋ ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ ನಮ್ಮ ಜಮೀನನ್ನು ಅಡ ಇಡೋದು. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಅಡ ಇಡೋದು. ಇನ್ ಕೇಸ್ ನಾವು ಏನಾದರೂ ಆ ದುಡ್ಡನ್ನು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಕೊಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಜಮೀನನ್ನು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಮಾರಬೇಕಾದಂಥ ಒಂದು ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಭಾರತ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಉದ್ಭವ ಆಯಿತು. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಬಿಕೇಮ್ ಎ ಕಮೋಡಿಟಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಲೋನ್ಸ್ ಕುಡ್ ಬಿ ರೈಸ್ಡ್ ಬೈ ಮೋರ್ಟ್ಗೇಜಿಂಗ್ ದ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್. ಮೋರ್ಟ್ಗೇಜಿಂಗ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಅಡ ಇಡೋದು. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಥರ್ಡ್ ಇಂಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್. Then fourth, very important, many zamindars also had to mortgage their lands in order to pay the land taxes. Apart from the farmers, here zamindars also had to mortgage their lands. ಜಮೀನುದಾರರು ಸಹ ತಮ್ಮ ಒಂದು ಜಮೀನನ್ನು ಮನಿ ಲೆಂಡರ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಅಡ ಇಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ರೀಸನ್ here zamindars are collecting tax from the farmers, and that tax they paying to the Britishers. In case farmers are not paying tax to the zamindars, means here Britishers forcefully collecting tax from zamindars. And that time zamindars also had to mortgage their lands in order to pay the land taxes. So this land tax policy even affect upon the zamindars also. This is the fourth very important impact. Even zamindars also. And fifth one, the agriculture sector became commercialized and had to grow raw materials needed by industries back in England. So industrial revolution first began in England. So most of the English persons came to India to do for the trade purpose. When they came to India to trade purpose, while doing for the trade, they try to controlling so many parts of our Indian country. We already learned that information first lesson, even for the second lesson also. Through the land tax policies, they controlled most of the land. Then after that, agriculture land become commercialized. Some of the important industries are there in England. That England industries need some raw materials. Here, the Britishers are given order to the Indian farmers. Only industrial products only have to grow, like for example cotton, rubber, etc. No need to grow for the food crops. So this is one of the important commercialized. So the agriculture sector became commercialized and had to grow raw materials needed by industries back in England. This is the fifth impact of the British land tax system. Look at this picture, dear students. So through the train, the goods and services moving to the coastal areas, and from coastal areas to England, through the sea route exporting for the raw materials to England. It means in England consists of some of the industries, so that the agriculture sector became commercialized and had to grow raw materials needed by industries back in England. So this is also one of the impact of British land tax system. And the money lenders became strong. So here money lenders means someone who give money for interest. Here money lenders given money to farmers and collecting interest also. Even sometimes the money lenders providing money to zamindars also, and they collecting even for the interest. So here farmers also under the control of money lenders, and even most of the zamindars under the control of money lenders. So in this way the money lenders became strong. So this is also one of the important effect of the British land tax system. Look at the picture of money lenders. So dear students, these are the very important effects of the British land tax system. So this is in detail information about for the British land tax policies. Permanent zamindari system, mahalwari system and raitawari system. And these three systems also consist of some of the important features. And upon the three systems, well, when implemented for Britishers in our Indian country, the lot of changes are available that we should consider for the impacts or results. Then after the British land tax system, the modern education in India. Modern. What is the meaning of here? Modern. Mainly here, advanced scientific technology. What is technology? Present is, you have to look at in ancient time, the education is going on through the agraharas, matas, temples, etc. places. While they enter to the Middle Ages, then most of the universities are constructed. Nalanda University, like Takshila University, like most of them. And when Britishers came to India, they constructed some of the important industries in Bombay, Madras, Calcutta, like. Got it? Here, education is changing from one generation to another generation. See, nowadays, got it? Most of them depending upon for online education due to the COVID-19. Because of the reason, in this pandemic situation, compulsory we need for the education. Compulsory we need for the education. So that is also we should consider for the modern education system. ಹಿಂದಿನ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಾದಂಥ ವಿದ್ಯಾಭ್ಯಾಸದ ಪದ್ಧತಿ ಇತ್ತೋ ಅದು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೊಸ ರೀತಿಯಾದಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮನ್ನು ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷರ್ಸು ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. Then here, at what type of modern education system implemented by Britishers, and who were playing very important role to implementation of the modern education system in our Indian country? Let's see one by one. We have to gather in detail information. See, new changes occurred during the British rule. It means 18th century. So during the time of 18th century, a lot of changes available. Got it? More changes are available during the British rule, mainly 18th century. So Warren Hastings facilitated the expansion of the modern education in India. Warren Hastings, one of the important British officer. Got it? He make easy education system ಅನ್ನು ತುಂಬ ಈಸಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಯಾರು ಅಂತಂದರೆ ವಾರನ್ ಹೇಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್. So that is why Warren Hastings facilitated the expansion of the modern education in India. See the picture of Warren Hastings. Warren Hastings. Then in 1781 CE, he started Calcutta Madras. This is one of the important university started by Warren Hastings. Look at the picture of Calcutta Madrasa. So to expansion of the English education purpose, got it? Otherwise, to expansion of the modern education purpose, Warren Hastings in the year of 1781 constructed one of the important university named Calcutta Madrasa. Then after Jonathan Duncan, so after the Warren Hastings, so here there is one question: how British education extended in our Indian country? Otherwise, how the modern education developed in our Indian country? So here 3 to 4 important persons are playing very important role. The first person I already told, Warren Hastings. He given most of the importance for modern education, and this was the reason purpose he constructed one of the important university named Calcutta Madrasa in the year of 1781. After the Warren Hastings, another one important person, Jonathan Duncan. Jonathan Duncan, a British individual, started Sanskrit College in Banaras in 1792 CE. So this is the development of the modern education in our Indian country. Got it? After the Warren Hastings, Jonathan Duncan, one of the important British person, he started a Sanskrit college in the year of 1792 CE in Benares. Then after, see, look at the picture of Jonathan Duncan, and this is the picture of Sanskrit College in Benares. Sanskrit College in Benares. After that, dear students, the expansion of the British education in India received special support after the appointment of William Bentinck. So he was a Governor General of India. First Warren Hastings, then after Jonathan Duncan, and they tried to modernize education in India. So on that time, the education not received a special support. But when Britishers appointed Lord William Bentinck as a Governor General of our Indian country, as a Governor General of our Indian country, the expansion of the British education received special importance. This all credit goes to Lord William Bentinck. Let's see what he did mainly. Look at the picture, Lord William Bentinck. So mainly here, Bentinck appointed Macaulay as the chairperson of the Committee on Education. It means Lord William Bentinck formed one education committee to expansion of the modern education purpose, to expansion of the English education purpose. Lord William Bentinck formed one of the important committee, education committee, and that committee chairperson Macaulay. That committee chairperson Macaulay, and this Macaulay in the year of 1853, in the year of 1853, he gave report to Lord William Bentinck. Got it? ನಮ್ಮ ಭಾರತ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಾದಂಥ ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಇದೆ, ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಆ ಒಂದು ರಿಪೋರ್ಟನ್ನು ಮೆಕಾಲೆ ಲಾರ್ಡ್ ವಿಲಿಯಂ ಬೆಂಟಿಕ್ಗೆ 1835 ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. Then after, the modern education become a base for our Indian country. Modern education become a base for our Indian country. And mainly, Lord William Bentinck, got it? Through the education policy, try to expansion of the modern education in India. But most of the Britishers are thinking, the creation of new class of Indians who are Indian by body, but the British in intelligence, opinion and taste. It means compared to Indians, the Britishers have a most of the intelligence. Got it? And Britishers have their own opinion. And Britishers know what is right and what is wrong. But this much of talent not having to Indians. So this much of talent we have to create to Indians, like most of the Britishers are felt. And in the year of 1835, when Macaulay submitted one of the report to British Parliament, look at that Parliament, what, see picture of Macaulay, and this is the report. See what is such a wonderful information consists of here. I have travelled across the length and breadth of India. So here Macaulay travelled throughout the Indian country, and even he won't see any one beggar in our Indian country. He won't see any one beggar in our Indian country. Such a wealthiest country is our India, and people have a good caliber, and people have a most of the moral values, and the Indian citizens are the backbone of the Indian country, and they having a spiritual and cultural knowledge, and our Indian education system very nice. During the period of ancient time to at present, there is a wonderful education system available. We no need to educate to Indians. So these all the statements given by Macaulay in the year of 1835, 2nd February in British Parliament. So that is the greatness and the heritage, the power of our Indian country. Then after, dear students, Governor General, see after the Lord William Bentinck, another one important Governor General, Lord Dalhousie, to expansion of the English education purpose, he started 3 important universities as per the suggestions of Charles Commission in the year of 1854. So in the year of 1854, in our Indian country, so Britishers under, there is a 3 important presidencies. One is Kolkata, and another one is Bombay, and another one is Madras. In these three presidencies, Britishers are started some of the important universities in the year of 1854 as per the suggestions of Charles Wood. Then after when implemented universities in our Indian country, education started becoming a universalized in India. Got it? Apart from Bombay, apart from Kolkata, apart from Madras. So English education spread. It means modern education spread throughout the Indian country. Look at the pictures. Lord Dalhousie and one of the important for them, Charles Wood, and this is the a very important university, Calcutta University and the Bombay University, and for the Madras University. To expansion of the British education purpose here, Warren Hastings, Lord William Bentinck, and Lord Dalhousie, Macaulay, Charles Wood, most of the persons are playing very important role to modernize the education system in our Indian country. Then dear students, the implementation of education is over. The implementation of education is over. Then the impact of British education in India. Then Britishers are implemented modern education. It means British education in India. ಇದರಿಂದ ಏನಾದರೂ ಯೂಸ್ ಆಯ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ? ಭಾರತೀಯರಿಗೆ ಇದರಿಂದ ಏನಾದರೂ ಯೂಸ್ ಆಯ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ? ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಾದಂಥ ಬದಲಾವಣೆಗಳು ಆಯಿತು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನು ಇಂಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಗುಡ್. ದ ಇಂಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್ ಇನ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ. ಎಸ್ ಮೈ ಡಿಯರ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್, ಲಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಅವೈಲಬಲ್ through the implementation of the British education in India. Let's say what type of changes available after the implementation of British education system. See, Indian could develop modernity. So after the implementation of the British education system, Indians could develop modernity. Got it? So modernity means the condition of being modern. ಸೊ ಹಳೆಯ ಕಾಲದ ಪದ್ಧತಿಯನ್ನು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಆ ಒಂದು ಸಿಚುಯೇಷನ್ಗೆ ಅಡ್ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗುವಂಥದ್ದು. got it? Indians could develop modernity and secularism. So India is one of the important secular country in the world. Before implementation of the English education, there is a lot of clashes between the Hindus, Muslims, Sikhism, Jainism, Buddhism, etc., etc., etc. So most of the people given importance to the religions after the implementation of British education, that is a secularism. And democratic attitudes. Democratic, it is nothing but between the people there is a equality. So equality being came into existence between the Indian citizens because of implementation of the British education system. And rationality. Got it? ವಿವೇಚನಾಶೀಲತೆ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕರಿತೀವಿ. We have to think ourselves. Got it? We have to find out what is right and what is wrong. And we have to argue with the harassment. And we have to against for the harassment. And we have to implement in our life some of the important moral values. So these all consisting for the nationality along with the nationalistic ideals. We need a patriotic feelings. We need some patriotic feelings. At what type of patriotic feelings? We have to love to our Indian country. Got it? Having strong patriotic feelings upon the nation. So this all credit goes to British education system. This is the first impact. Indians could develop modernity, secularism, democratic attitudes and rationality along with the nationalistic ideals. So dear students, this is the first very important effect. And the second one, so democracy, unity, like, and secularism. Look at that symbols, different symbols consisting of variety types of the religions. It means also India stands based on the unity in diversity, like. And second one, impetus was received for the local literature and languages. It means the great importance received for the local literature and languages when Britishers are implemented for the British education. So after that, In local languages, literature received most important. Got it? This local literature created, got it? Unity in a thinking process. Unity in a thinking process. Mainly, got it? ನಾವು ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಜೀವನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ನಾವ್ಯಾಕೆ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷರ ಅಧೀನದಲ್ಲಿ ಜೀವನವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ನೋಡಿ ನಮ್ಮಷ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವೇ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ರೋಲನ್ನು ಯಾಕೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬಾರ್ದು, ಇದೆಲ್ಲದರೂ ಸಹ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್ ಮುಖಾಂತರನೇ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಲೋಕಲ್ ಲಿಟರೇಚರ್, ಲುಕ್ ಅಟ್ ದ ಪಿಕ್ಚರ್ಸ್, ಕನ್ನಡ, ತೆಲುಗು, ತಮಿಳು, ಗುಜರಾತಿ, ಮರಾಠಿ, ಹಿಂದಿ, ದಿಸ್ ಆಲ್ ದ ಲೋಕಲ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜಸ್. got it? See, that is the books. So impetuous, got it, was received for the local literature and languages, and this facilitated unity in thinking process among the educated. Got it, dear students? This is you should be keep in your mind. No need to forget for that. This here the word you have to look at the word impetuous means energy. Got it? Energy was received for the local literature and languages, and this facilitated unity in thinking process among the educated classes, because most of the people gain the education through the local literature and even for the British education system. Second impact. Then after, third very very important effect, magazines started. It means periodicals are started. It means weekly magazines and monthly magazines are started, and these scrutinized the policies and working of the government, and which in turn enabled the Indians to have critical opinion on various issues. Here, when Britishers are carrying for the administration, got it? After, Indians try to analyzing the British administration, whether Britishers are implementing right administration or not, and Britishers are implementing good policies or not. Indians are examining that, ಅದನ್ನು ವೆರಿಫೈ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ, ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಸ್ಕ್ರೂಟಿನೈಸ್ಡ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. got it? Because of the reason, this credit also goes to the British education system. This is the third very very important point. Look at that. And fourth one is new social and religious reformation movements emerged. Because of the reason, British education, after a very important role playing by Raja Ram Mohan Roy, Swami Vivekananda, Ramakrishna Paramahansa, Sarojini Naidu, Jyoti Bapale, most of the important persons. These persons we should consider for the social and religious reformer movements. Like, look at the pictures, Raja Ram Mohan Roy, like Swami Vivekananda, Ramakrishna Paramahansa, Jyoti Bapale, Mahatma Gandhiji. Most of the persons are playing very very important role. So this is the new social and religious reformation movements emerged. Because of the reason, this credit goes to British education system. Then after, mainly here, the thoughts of thinkers, it means the ideas of thinkers. Most of the persons, one of the important persons, J.S. Mill, Rousseau and Montesquieu. J.S. Mill, Rousseau and Montesquieu, they written most of the books upon the Indian society. While reading these books, fresh thinking mindset came to the educated youth of the India. ಸೊ ಈ ತ್ರೀ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್ಸ್, J.S. ಮಿಲ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ರೂಸೋ ಇರ್ಬೋದು ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಮಾಂಟೆಸ್ಕ್ಯೂ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ತಮ್ಮ ಬರವಣಿಗೆಗಳ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ಹೊಸ ಯುಗವನ್ನೇ ಶುರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಗೋಸ್ ಟು J.S. ಮಿಲ್, ರೂಸೋ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಮಾಂಟೆಸ್ಕ್ಯೂ. got it? ದೇ ವರ್ ಬಾಟ್ ಫ್ರೆಶ್ ಥಿಂಕಿಂಗ್ ಮೈಂಡ್ಸೆಟ್, ಹೊಸದಾಗಿ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಮಾಡುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿಯನ್ನು ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಜುಕೇಟೆಡ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ರೀಸನ್ Britishers implemented for the education system in India. This is the fifth impact. So he was the person J.S. Mill, Rousseau and Montesquieu. This is the fifth impact. And the freedom struggles that were taking place across the globe influenced the Indians also. What is the meaning of? Mainly, you should be keep in your mind. So during the period of Middle Ages, mainly when Indians are trying to get freedom, and at the same time throughout the world, so many countries are facing this problem. Throughout the world, so many countries are facing such a problem. India at what type of problem facing? The same problem only most of the countries are facing throughout the world. What such a freedom struggles while Indians observing through the British education system, and that freedom struggle while seeing Indians influenced that, and then Indians are decided compulsory we have to get freedom. So Balagangadhara Tilak said one statement, got it? Freedom is our birthright, compulsory we have shall it like. So the freedom struggles that we taking place across the globe influenced the Indians. Got it? So in this way, British education playing very very important role. So like influenced for the Indians. Mahatma Gandhiji playing very very important role. Apart from Mahatma Gandhiji, so many persons also playing very very important role. And Indians could understand and appreciate their rich tradition. So after the implementation of the British education, Indians gave respect to our culture and our tradition. Because of the reason British education, they appreciate our own tradition. Our tradition, it means our culture is too good, like look at each state having a different and variety types of the culture. So everybody, most of the Indians are appreciate their tradition from their self. So dear students, these are the impact of the British education system in India. Then dear students, after the British education system, constitutional development. We know, dear students, constitution, got it, being came into existence 26th January 1950. So before implementation of the constitution, there is a historical backdrop is there to implementation of the constitution purpose. Let's we have to learn one by one. Look at here, historical background on Indian constitution. Got it? So along with the British administration, here Britishers are doing administration in our Indian country. When Britishers are carrying administration in India, while at the same time the problems also raised more. Got it? Along with the British administration, problems also grow in India. ಅವರ ಆಡಳಿತ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ನಮ್ಮ ಭಾರತ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಗಳು ಸಹ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Got it? It means develop ಅನ್ನೋದು ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. In order to stop such a problems, reformation in administration became important, because the British administration completely opposed by most of the Indians, educated Indians. That is why most of the problems being came to existence in the British administration. Compulsory stopping for this illegal administration purpose, most of the Indians have struggled well. Got it? That is why in order to alleviate such a problems purpose, Britishers need some change. ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷರ್ಸ್ ಅವರು ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಬದಲಾವಣೆಗಳನ್ನು ಅವರ ಒಂದು ಆಡಳಿತದಲ್ಲಿ ತರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಪಡ್ತಾರೆ. ದೆನ್ ದ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಅಟೆಂಪ್ಟೆಡ್ ಟು ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಲಾ. ಸೊ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷರ್ಸ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಲಾ, ಅಂದರೆ ಕಾನೂನಿನ ಮುಖಾಂತರನೇ ಜಾರಿಗೆ ತರಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಪಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಇಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ದ ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ಸ್, ಇಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಲಾ ಈಸ್ ವೆರಿ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಅಂಡರ್ ದ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್. Let's say what type of rules and regulations they implemented, why such a type of rules and regulations are implemented by Britishers. What it is, there any reasons behind the implementation of laws or acts, that we have to learn one by one. What it? The first one is the Regulating Act. So laws implemented during the rule of the East India Company. The first one is the Regulating Act. So this is very very important. The Regulating Act of 1773. The Regulating Act of 1773. We know about that. After the Battle of Buxar, got it? Diwani rights in the year of 1765. Through the Bengal region, Britishers are get for the Diwani rights. It means right to collect land tax. When most of the Britishers are gained collective land tax, most of the British officials misused the land tax. Got it? Their personal purpose. They collecting tax, most of the British officers, it means East Indian Company, those who were doing a work, and that tax they were not paying to the British. It means they not paying to the British government. Got it? In this way, most of the East Indian Company British official became a corrupt. So this corruption find out by one of the important British person, Edmund Burke. Edmund Burke. ಎಡ್ಮಂಡ್ ಬರ್ಕ್ ಎಂಬ ಒಬ್ಬ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ, ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಪಾರ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟಿನಲ್ಲಿರುವಂಥ ಒಬ್ಬ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ, ಭಾರತ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಈಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಕಂಪನಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡುತ್ತಿರುವಂಥ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷರು ದಿವಾನಿ ರೈಟನ್ನು ಪಡೆದುಕೊಂಡು ಆ ಒಂದು ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸನ್ನು ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಗೆ ಕೊಡದಿರ ಅವರಷ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ಅವರು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ತುಂಬ ಶ್ರೀಮಂತರಾಗ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ಗಾಟ್ ಇಟ್? ಸೊ ಈ ಒಂದು ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕನ್ನು ಎಡ್ಮಂಡ್ ಬರ್ಕ್ ಎಂಬ ಒಬ್ಬ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಸೊ he criticized the corruption in the East India Company. So this is a one more question. Who criticized the corruption in East India Company means Edmund Burke. So many company officials had become super rich. Those who were working in British East India Company, when they doing for the corruption, they become a super rich. Rich is normal, but super rich. Do you know, ತುಂಬ ಶ್ರೀಮಂತರಾಗ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. Got it? That is why most of the England people get fear. In case ಇವರು ಏನಾದರೂ ಇಂಗ್ಲೆಂಡಿಗೆ ಬಂದರೆ ಇಡೀ ಇಂಗ್ಲೆಂಡನ್ನೇ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಇಡೀ ನಮ್ಮ ಒಂದು ಇಂಗ್ಲೆಂಡನ್ನೇ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಈಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಕಂಪನಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡುವಂಥ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯೀಸ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತಾರೆ, ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ರಿಚ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವರು ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಭಯ ಇವರಿಗೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಟು ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿಸ್, ಟು ರೆಗ್ಯುಲೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿಸ್, ರೆಗ್ಯುಲೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲಿಂಗ್ ದಿಸ್ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಲ್ಲೀಗಲ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟೀಸ್, ಇಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಕರಪ್ಷನ್. Got it? In the year of 1773, Britishers are implemented for the Regulating Act. So many company officials had become super rich, and the many in England feared that these people may upset the very political fabric of England. The Regulating Act was implemented in this background in 1773 CE, and this Regulating Act consists of some of the important features. So here one more question: why Britishers are implementing for the Regulating Act? Can anybody got it? ಈ ರೀತಿ ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸನ್ನು ಕೇಳಿದಂಥ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮೈಂಡಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ರೀಸನ್ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಆಫೀಸರ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಎ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಅಫಿಷಿಯಲ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಎ ಈಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಕಂಪನಿ they become a rich in a corrupt way. To control this, Britishers are implemented for the Regulating Act in the year of 1773. And this act consists of some of the important features. See, under the Regulating Act, the Bengal Presidency gained control over other two Madras and Bombay presidencies. Mainly here, before implementation of the Regulating Act. Before implementation of the Regulating Act, mainly, and after implementation of the Regulating Act mainly, there are lot of changes are available. So here the Bengal Presidency gained control over other two Madras and Bombay presidencies after the implementation of the Regulating Act. But before implementation of the Regulating Act, Bengal Presidency control only in Bengal, that's it. But after the Regulating Act, even that Bengal Presidency, Bengal Administrative Center even controlled for the Madras also, and even controlled for the Bombay presidencies also. Because of the reason, in these three places only doing most of the corruption by British East Indian Company officials. So this is Bengal, Madras and Bombay presidencies. And the Governor General of Bengal became the Governor General of the three presidencies. Before the implementation of Regulating Act, the Governor General only limit to the Bengal. But after the implementation of Regulating Act, even the Governor General controlled for the Bengal also, and even the Governor General controlled for the Bombay also, and even Governor General controlled for the Madras also. These three presidencies also controlled by Governor General under the Regulating Act of 1773. Governor General. Got it? And here the Governor General having a superpower. It means if any people did a mistake, he have a power to direct them, to direct in a right way, and implementation of the administration, and he have a power to control of the administration, and he have a power supervise Bengal presidency, Madras presidency, and in the same way Bombay presidency. Because of the reason, British has implemented a regulating act in the year of 1773. So dear students, these three are very very important features of the regulating act. And another one here, the Bombay and Madras presidencies could not declare war on anyone. So because here Bengal presidency controlled for the, it means Bengal Governor General controlled for Bombay and Madras. That is why here Bombay presidency not have a right, and even Madras presidency also not have a right. They declared war against for any others. In case they have to do like means, the permission of the Governor General and the Board of Directors compulsory, because these two presidencies is under the control of Britishers. And after regulating act under Supreme Court of Judiciary, it means one of the important legal court of justice under the regulating act established. So Supreme Court of Judicature was established in Calcutta, the legal court of justice. So this court providing for the justice to the people. So dear students, this is in detail information about regulating act of 1773, and this is the first very very important act. Then after the regulating act of 1773, another one very very important act, so that is Pitt's India Act. Why the Britishers are implemented again another one act, that is called a Pitt's India Act, means most of the British officials opposed the regulating act. Most of the British officials opposed the regulating act. Let's see here, Pitt's India Act of 1784. In 1773 regulating act implemented. Then in the year of 1784 Pitt's India Act implemented. Why the British government implemented for the Pitt's India Act? So here there were many inconsistencies in the regulating act of 1773. There is no unity. While Britishers are implemented for the regulating act, there is no unity here. In this regulating act, there is no unity. It means between the British officials only, there is no unity. Got it? And powers available for different way. This is not satisfied for the most of the British officials. So in order to rectify them, the mistakes, it means find out the mistakes and clearly outline the powers of East India Company. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಗೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಪವರ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕು ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಈಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಕಂಪನಿಗೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಾದಂಥ ಪವರ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕು, ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಪರ್ಫೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಔಟ್ಲೈನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಉದ್ದೇಶದಿಂದ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಪಿಟ್ಸ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಟನ್ನು 1784 ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಎ 1 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಆರ್ MCQ ಕ್ವಶನ್. Why the British government implemented the Pitt's India Act? It means because in order to rectify them and also clearly outlined the powers of the East India Company. Got it? Because of the reason there were many inconsistencies. Sthirate ಅನ್ನೋದಿರಲ್ಲ, ಅಸ್ಥಿರತೆ. There is no unity between the British officials. Got it? ಅವರಿಗೆ ಕೆಲಸದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ ಹೊರತು ಅವರಿಗೆ ಪವರ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಆ ಪವರು ಇಂಗ್ಲೆಂಡ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಮಾಡಿರುತ್ತೆ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೈ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಈಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಕಂಪನಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡುವಂಥ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಾದಂಥ ಪವರ್ ಬೇಕು, ನಾವು ಏನು ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ಇಂಗ್ಲೆಂಡಲ್ಲಿರುವಂಥ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಗೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಪವರ್ ಇದೆ, ಭಾರತದಲ್ಲಿರುವಂಥ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಆಫೀಸರ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಪವರ್ ಬೇಕು, ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ರೆಕ್ಟಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ರೆಗ್ಯುಲೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಟಲ್ಲಿರುವಂಥ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ದೋಷಗಳನ್ನು ಕಂಪಲ್ಸರಿ ನಿವಾರಣೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಎಂಬ ಒಂದು ಉದ್ದೇಶದಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪಿಟ್ಸ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಟನ್ನು ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ 1784 ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. So dear students, this should be keep in your mind. So this is a Pitt's India Act. Then in this Pitt's India Act, a new institution named Board of Controllers. So here, after the implementation of the Pitt's India Act, a new institution, one of the important organization named Board of Controllers. It was created, new institution called Board of Controllers created, and it consists of 6 commissioners. Board of Controllers. ಏನಿಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಆಲ್ ದ ಅಡ್ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಅಂಡರ್ ದ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಸಚ್ ಎ ಪರ್ಸನ್ಸ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ. ದಿಸ್ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲರ್ಸ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ 6 members and administration controlling capacity having to them only. Got it? And the board of controllers replaced the board of directors. First when they implemented, and that time calling for board of controllers. After the board of controllers replaced, it means they also calling as board of directors. Board of controllers ಎಂಬ ಒಂದು ಹೆಸರನ್ನು the board of directors ಅಂತ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. So this is one of the important feature of the Pitt's India Act of 1784. A new institution named Board of Controllers consisting of 6 commissioners was started, and the Board of Controllers replaced the Board of Directors. This is the first feature. See, it consisting of 6 members. You no need to count for the one important person wearing for the white cloth. Those who are wearing for the black coats, such a person, sir, we should consider for the 6 members, Board of Directors. And this act declared the Indians have attaining their paramount power in the name of British Empire only, but not on their own. See, what a crucial method under the Pitt's India Act. ಭಾರತ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂಥ ಭಾರತೀಯರು ಅವರು ಏನಾದರೂ ಒಂದು ಅಧಿಕಾರವನ್ನು ಪಡೆದುಕೋಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಅದು ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಒಂದು ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ಪಡೆದುಕೋಬೇಕೇ ಹೊರತು ಅವರಷ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ಅವರೇ ಪಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ನಮ್ಮ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಪವರ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋಂಗೆ ಆಯಿತು. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಟ್ ಡಿಕ್ಲೇರ್ ದ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಅಟೈನ್ಡ್ ದ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಮೌಂಟ್ ಪವರ್, ಎನಿ ಒನ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಪವರ್ ಇನ್ ದ ನೇಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಎಂಪೈರ್. They have to get any one type of power in the name of British Empire, that's it, but not on there. And curtailed the political rights of the Indians conclusively. We know some of the important fundamental rights are there: right to freedom, right to equality, right to freedom of religion. So such important political rights curtailed, completely banned by the British government under the Pitt's India Act of 1784. So you see, we do not have a right to question for the justice, and we not have a liberty, we not have a equality. So like such a type of situation being came into existence in our Indian country after the implementation of Regulating Act of 1784. This is the second feature. And it declared that areas under the possession of the East India Company are the integral part of the British Empire. Do you know, British East India Company, got it? Trade purpose came to India, and they established so many trade centers in our Indian country. So they controlled for Bombay, Madras, and in the same way Kolkata, some of the important places like. Got it? So the British East India Company, some of the important places controlled in India. Got it? So that places, you should be keeping in your mind, that places belongs to England but not to India. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಈಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಕಂಪನಿ ಯಾವೊಂದು ಪ್ಲೇಸಸ್ಸನ್ನು ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆಯೋ ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಗೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಂಗೆ, ಅಂದರೆ ಇಂಗ್ಲೆಂಡ್ನ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಅದು ಭಾರತದ ಸ್ಥಳಗಳು ಅಲ್ಲ. Those all belongs to England. So like declared under the Pitt's India Act of 1784. So government of UK, United Kingdom, these all places, Bombay belongs to United Kingdom, and Madras also, even for Kolkata also, it means Bengal. So like these are the 3 important features of the Pitt's India Act of 1784. Then after the Pitt's India Act, Charter Acts are implemented. Charter means agreements. ಒಂದು ಅಗ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಆ್ಯಕ್ಟ್ಸನ್ನು ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಹಿಯರ್ ದ 4 acts are very very important. 4 acts are very very important. Apart from that, 1793 Act and 1813 Act, 1833 Act and 1853 Act. Got it? So So, four types of charter acts implemented by British government in our Indian country. Got it? So, in once in 20 years, 20 ವರ್ಷಕ್ಕೊಂದ್ಸಲಿ ಚಾರ್ಟರ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಅಗ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಲೀಸ್ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಟು ದೀಸ್ ಫೋರ್ ಚಾರ್ಟರ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಟ್ಸ್, the two charter acts are very very important. So that is Charter Act of 1813 and Charter Act of 1833. At what type of charter acts implemented by British government in India means 1793 Charter Act, 1813 Charter Act, 1833 Charter Act and 1853 Charter Act. Among these four, which charter acts are very very important means 1833 and 1813 Charter Acts very very important. Let's students, now we have to gather in detail information about Charter Act of 1813 and 1833. Okay dear students, Charter Act of 1833, why this Charter Act implemented, this Charter Act, is there any features, etc etc, we have to gather next session, it means session number 3. So thanks for watching video dear students. This is Chandrasekhar, social science teacher, BGS Public School, Shitlaghatta. Thank you. Have a nice day.